Okay, I'm going to get started because we've got some ground to cover today and I'm on a little time schedule. So good afternoon and welcome to the City of Kingston's Tree Commission meeting. Today is April 5th, 2022. My name is Suzanne Cahill and I'm the Planning Director for the City of Kingston, and I will be hosting this virtual meeting. Before we begin the meeting, I want to go over just a few guidelines to help navigate the system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We are using the Zoom webinar format, so all commission members are here as panelists and the public and press are present as attendees. Attendees may be promoted to panelists as required. As the host, we reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. As good practice, we ask that you mute yourself if you are not speaking, to avoid any background noise and feedback. If a commission member or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand and I will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners. The commission member will then unmute themselves, state their name, and speak clearly, muting after finished. All meetings are recorded and both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city website at a later date. We are also live streaming the meeting over the city's YouTube channel. If you have any audio issues, please send a text message to the following number, 845-443-0416. Please be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number again to text is 845-443-0416. I thank you for your patience, and we will now begin our meeting at 3:32 p.m. And I'm just going to first, okay, Evan is here. Hang on, let me just get him in. There. Okay. Evan should be popping on. There he is. I'll give him a minute. Hi, Evan. Evan, I just started the meeting, so I'm just going to, for the record, introduce everybody. Again, I'm Sue Cahill. I'm the Planning Director for the City of Kingston. We have Vince Archer with us today. We have Corinne Dutil. We have Elizabeth Collins and Evan Kang as commission members. And we have Anita Collins here representing the Conservation Advisory Council. And we do have a guest with us today, Sarah Wank, who has asked to speak. So I'm going to get started first. We do have one tree review. It would be 223 Elmendorf Street. You may remember this one. It was a tree that the DPW had flagged for removal. We had sent the notice, the commission acted on it, and directed the property owner to remove it because of its condition. The property owner appealed the decision and wanted to prune it to try and preserve the tree. At this time, however, she has engaged a professional arborist who has given her the opinion that the tree really does need to come down. She's disheartened, but she's going with that, and hopefully we will be able to then follow up with her with another tree planting. So she is just looking again for us to reverse our decision back to our original directive to remove the tree with all of the same conditions. So if I could get, if there's any discussion, yes, Tebby, you're muted. You're muted. Tebby, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I thought I had unmuted myself. I guess I didn't hit it hard enough. So I was going to make a motion. Do I need to make the motion first or do we have discussion? I guess we need the motion.
Motion and second first and then discussion.
Okay, so I make a motion that we reverse our decision and go back to allowing removal of the tree at that address with all the conditions.
Can I have a second on that? Evan seconded. Okay, is there any discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, can I just have a hand raised for vote yes? Everybody in agreement? Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, I have Sarah Wank, who has asked to speak. So Sarah, I am going to open you up. There you are.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. I guess you can't see me, which is fine. Thanks for giving me the time to speak. I wanted to address some issues with the bioswales on Broadway, which I have been watching since they were put in, and they are not being tended to at all. I was going to say not well tended, but they're not being tended at all, and they're most of them have a lot of garbage in them, and the plantings look iffy, which of course, you know, we knew was going to be a problem. But I wrote some time ago to the mayor about it, and he said that there would be more maintenance, that DPW was going to be watering, and which is great if it happens, but I think it would be good if the commission could take a little responsibility there. Steve also said that the businesses were going to be asked to clean up the tree beds in front of their stores. It might be good to find out if that happened, or if they were given any supplies or any instructions on what should be done. And another issue is that if we have a dry summer, those trees will need to be watered. Just because they're in bioswales doesn't mean they'll survive with no water. So if the plan is for DPW to water trees, they have to water those as well. I mean, as you, I'm sure know, a lot of the trees on Greenkill died last year because they just stuck them in the ground and walked away. They were never watered. They were never attended to, and they won't be replaced again. There's only one replacement on them. So it's just something that I've been noticing. Also, there are a number of bioswales that aren't near any businesses or any homes or anything, like the ones around the bridge and up on the other side of the bridge. So I don't know, I just have this vision of Broadway as a streetscape of dead trees, and I'm really hoping the commission will take some responsibility and make sure that the city does what they need to keep them alive. So that's, and I mean, the same thing will be true on Franklin Street. When trees are planted there, they have to be maintained or they're just going to die. And especially young trees, and especially the kind of weather we've been having. So that's it. I'm going to go, but thank you for giving me the chance to speak. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah. Does anybody have any follow-up thoughts on that? Yes, Karine.
Yeah, I just spoke like recently with YMCA Farm Project, and they have actually they are planning little program with the youth this summer to attend the bioswale. So I'm not sure,
Okay.
you know, like how many were exactly. It was just like in the talk, and I offered to do a workshop about, you know, what is a bioswale, like all the green infrastructure, you know, why they're in place, and what they're doing for the town, about like the combined sewer and everything else. So this is happening, like it's gonna happen like very soon.
Okay, all right, good.
So I'm not sure if they're gonna be watering. I doubt it because they don't have the equipment, but you know, kind of like
Right, but at least,
kind of
I mean,
clean
at
up.
least cleaning, you know, garbage, or just like, you know, kind of a kind of clean sweep, kind of adopt
Right.
a bioswale
Yeah,
program.
exactly. And also
You know,
like yeah, and learn about the process. And I hope they can, you know, kind of like bring this knowledge to their parents and family. And, you know, so.
Okay, great. Well, that's good news. I was not aware of that. Okay, anyone else? Okay, all right, so we will move on in our agenda. Amanda, I know, oh, yes, Karine.
Sorry, I was just like wondering about like like the point that Sarah is making about the maintenance and the watering of the trees. Like, is there something in place for this? Like, because I know sometimes like the trees, like by the contractor are like, have a warranty of 1 year or 2 years, and after it's just like, whatever happens. But is there like a system in place for the city to take care
I
of
am
it?
going to check with our engineering staff because I believe that was part of the programming that they do have something set up. I'm not sure whose responsibility it will become. I know that, Sarah had mentioned that it could potentially be, DPW. I'm not sure if it's them or if it would be Recreation Department, but that's something I made a note to check with our engineering office who did that project.
All right. Yeah, that would be good to know. It's true, like for the next project to know like how it's going to be in place and like,
Well, I think Sarah made a good point, in that we are doing a lot of this street infrastructure upgrades
Right.
throughout the city of Kingston. And, when we do that, we need to make sure that, the investment that's being put in place
Right.
is protected and maintained. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise
Yeah,
we might as well just,
yeah. Get out for a
it's money
coffee or
being
something.
spent, so we need to make sure that there's follow through. And that's, part of the reason why when we do our tree planting program here, we make sure that they sign a paper that says they are willing to maintain and take care of it. So,
True.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Amanda, can you unmute yourself? And I know you're driving, I think, so you won't be on video, but we can certainly hear you. Do you want to, I know I kind of said a few brief statements before the meeting started about our conversation we had earlier, but I'll let you kind of recap what you spoke with me about, and then we can take it from there.
Okay, can I just address one thing about the street trees for the project? From the reference point of the last time the Franklin Street project met, it was understanding from the engineering department that DPW in Kingston would be maintaining any new trees planted for the first year to two on Franklin Street. So at least for that project, I don't know about Broadway, whether it was DPW or Recreation, but Franklin Street would be taken care of by DPW. And they would be doing that, because so many trees were being planted. And sadly, Greg and I did not get an opportunity to walk the street and go to where they have it earmarked for a tree to be planted. So hopefully I can meet with whoever took his position. But DPW was tracked to take care of the tree, and that would be an incentive for the homeowner to be more willing to have the tree planted to begin with, that the city was going to take care of the watering and maintenance of it for the first couple of years.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And okay, so moving toward Arbor Day, Dr. Sagan, the woman that I speak with in central office at Kingston, was really just fabulous last year. And, as a teacher myself, I get it. Things are just overwhelming in the school districts right now. And, she had reached out, and the two teachers that were to get in touch with me, that kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. So it's just, the trickle down effect of education being very overwhelming with all the changes of COVID this year. And to push forward with possibly doing something next year instead, and getting embedded with those teachers, and then really just starting the whole process even earlier than the communication February. Let's start it in January. Let's have the projects really authentically be done and move forward to doing this for next year, and have that be our plan, to stay with the same thing that was the idea for this year and move it next year. And Susan and I talked about, the sad loss of some really beautiful trees at Academy Green and working with the committee there to plant a couple of trees there this year in lieu of the school district. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, so like Amanda said, she's had, it's not through a lack of making the effort. She's been communicating with Ms. Fagan since February, and it's just it hasn't grabbed on like last year. Last year, it was just a huge success. So I don't know, what's going on. It could be, just a work schedule type of issue. We're not sure. But rather than, hanging on to if that is going to be a possibility, we're too short on time to really make that work. So I think Amanda is right. We still continue to work with them, but get that on board for next year. And that would include the art show and planting at the high school and working with either their art students. And also we could then get them engaged maybe in some kind of a contest. We could also work with the Environmental Science Club over there and do some programming to just educate, students and that on trees and street trees. So that being said, I just tossed out the idea of Academy Green. And I think, with the ice storm that we had in early February, there was a tremendous amount of damage done in Academy Green. And I know just recently there was another large tree that had to get taken down because of its condition. So I know, Tevi, you're probably the best one to maybe help and speak to this, but we would like to try and maybe focus on a planting in that park as our Arbor Day program. There is the possibility with the senior residents across the way at Governor Clinton. We might involve some seniors, which I think might be a nice, change. Instead of, children, we will deal with seniors. That's okay. But we also do have the Y right there. And they have I think they have a preschool in that Y. Nursery, I know it's infants to like preschool age. So it might be an opportunity to bring, that group in as well to the park. So I'd like to kind of get your thoughts, because we do have to work pretty aggressively and quickly for April 29th, which is Arbor Day. If we're going to go in that direction, or if anyone has any other ideas. I want to definitely do something. I don't want to let this year fly by. It's the 150th anniversary of Arbor Day, so it's a pretty important one. And Kingston has always come through with a good program, and we'll just we just have to put our heads together and pull something together. But I think it'll work. It could work. So any other thoughts, ideas, questions, comments? Tevi, I'll let you speak.
Well, I know we have a Memorial Tree Fund meeting tomorrow, and I know we've talked about putting some trees because there were some recently taken down prior to the damage from the storm. And I really would like to talk to them, because I know the garden club has a big interest in this, and we don't want to just put a tree anywhere sort of willy-nilly.
Absolutely.
And we had some ideas already about where to plant and what to plant. So I'd kind of like to pass it by them. And like I say, there's a meeting tomorrow at 1:00, and I can ask them what they, tell them that the plan at the high school isn't going to work out, and that they're thinking of doing something there, and maybe we can do that. Because Annie Schultz usually goes and pays for the trees on behalf of the Memorial Tree Fund. And so she just wanted to know who was planning to pick out the trees so she could make sure that she goes and pays after they pick a tree. So, I don't think they would be opposed to it, but I just think they'd want to have some input in where we're going to plant.
Oh, yeah, no, I would absolutely want.
And I know we're
their
getting sort
involvement.
of down to the wire here because,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
it's what, 3 weeks away or something?
right. So, I mean, but do you think, so you think it's something that they would be open to, that idea?
I would think they'd be open to it, because we were thinking of doing something there anyway. And I think we were gonna contribute, what did I say? $500 for a tree.
Right, yes.
So, if that is the location, that would be great. I don't think the Memorial Tree Fund wants to plan a program. That would be up to us, but I'm sure they would
Oh,
be
yeah,
happy to
no, it would
provide
be, right,
a tree
right.
if they had some input on where it's gonna go.
Okay, all right, great. No, that's good news. So
But
if
I would
you,
have to get back to you on that. I would need to talk to them and say what,
okay,
because I don't think that the trees we were thinking of planting ever got planted, and like I say, there were a few taken down along, what's this street, not Clinton Avenue, the other street,
Maiden
and not
Lane.
Broadway, Maiden Lane. There were some trees that were
Right,
taken
there were
down.
two taken down there. There's one at the corner of Maiden and Clinton, that pine tree. And then there was one along just on the inside of the sidewalk area, and I trying to remember the species. Was it a maple maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might have been a maple. And I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember what trees, I'm not prepared. I'm trying to remember what trees we discussed. We discussed a few, I know we discussed a copper beech, but then I don't know. There were some other trees we discussed were sort of flowering trees that might look.
Okay,
But I can get back to everyone after our meeting tomorrow.
that would be great. That would be great. Corinne, you're muted.
Because I just spoke with the Kingston Land Trust, and they were just asking me if we had a location. I think they have two beautiful willow trees that they have in their nursery, and they are becoming big, and they need to get them out of there. And so they were asking me if I might practice of somebody who was interested for this. And at the moment, we don't have a place for them, but I thought that depending on the location.
Willows like wet ground, right?
Yeah.
They want something where they can get a lot of moisture.
Right. So I wonder if there's like another location, maybe because we could have like two beautiful trees, for a very reasonable price. And that would be also supporting the Kingston Land Trust, which I thought would be a nice little loop. But
Okay.
yeah, where is the question?
I can.
What about the Rotary Park?
Rotary Park might be a good location. That's a good idea, man. I don't know. I can reach out to Parks and Rec, Corinne, and see if where are they right now?
I think they are near like Sitsong Farm. I think their nursery is
Yep.
over there.
Okay. Okay. I know kind of where they have their property. Okay.
So, and I can ask more details, and I can put you in the loop maybe just to figure out how much, they want for it and stuff like this. But I'm
Right.
sure they are I don't know.
Who was it that had the willow trees?
The
They have-
Kingston
Yes.
Land Trust.
Oh, Kingston Land Trust. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, they are starting with their own nursery to provide, the trees for the land. And
Okay.
and yeah, Greg just texted me with these two beautiful willow trees. I was like, what
Okay.
do I do with it? So
Right. Okay. I don't know about getting back to Arbor Day real quick. If we can get the okay with the garden club and move forward with the Academy Green, can I get a couple of people to volunteer to put our heads together and figure out a program with Amanda real quick? I don't want to, obviously I don't want to put this all on her shoulders at this late stage. So if I can get a couple of people on the commission that would volunteer to help out with that, that'd be great.
What if I have a contact to the YWCA.
Okay.
My daughter was in a program there. I'd be more than willing to reach out, and obviously it'd be on the 30th. maybe the kids could do some arts and crafts or something, make something like fun to come out there and watch the tree planting and do like a group, like a preschool group. What if I threw out the idea to her, and then, Tibby can correspond an email about the meeting tomorrow, and I can try to get in touch with her tomorrow myself, and then also email the group in reference to the YWCA being involved.
I think that would be great. I would appreciate that. That'd be wonderful,
And then if
Amanda.
they are, we could develop a program around that. If that's something that they're not interested in, or maybe it's too much red tape for parents, then I would be more than happy to reach out to the senior center after that.
Okay. Yes, Tebby.
I think about, oh gosh, I don't know how many years ago, about 10 years ago, we planted a sugar maple by that same
We
preschool.
did.
And I think the kids came and sang a song or something like that.
They
So
did. And we,
I don't know if they'd want to do something, since they'd already done something like that. If some of the same teachers are there, it's new kids and new parents, maybe they'd want to do something like that.
yeah,
And I think the kids each helped, put some dirt on the tree.
right. I
I think we
remember
did
that
something
because it was
similar last
alongside the
year.
road. And I remember
Yeah.
being really nervous at all these little kids by the road.
Yeah. But they were cute. And I remember the school was really, they seemed happy about it. So they,
Yeah,
might be
no,
willing
and
to do
that
it
tree
again.
is doing very well. I drive by there all
I
the
think
time.
some songs are a great idea. That's adorable.
Yep. Okay, all right. So Amanda, we look forward to hearing from you, and Tebby from you tomorrow, and we'll take it from there and we'll move along. And so that moves us on to the tree planting
Sue?
program. Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
I just want to ask, if we do Academy Green, will DPW plant the tree? I mean, I don't think the Memorial Tree Fund or Garden Club is going to plant a
We
tree.
will figure that out. If I have,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we, if we have to use our own blood, sweat and tears between Kyla and I and our husbands, will figure it out. We'll get the shovels and we'll shovel a hole. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not
I know some of our members might be able to help, but we have a lot of older
No,
members
no,
that aren't.
we'll
We
figure
can
out.
water a tree,
that-
but,
yeah,
we
I
might be
can
able to
make that
help water
happen.
the tree if it's planted there. But as far as physically planting it, we've always had the nursery planted.
Yeah. Okay. We'll figure that one out. Okay.
Susan, didn't you say that there's an Academy Green group, like a park group that
It's
that
like,
does things?
well, the garden club has somewhat adopted the park, and they take care
Oh,
of it, they maintain it, and yes, Tebby.
I think there's like a commission, like the city has like a committee, and someone from Memorial Tree
Yeah.
Fund Garden Club is on that committee, and they decide what's going to happen at the park. As far as, are they going to put up a sign, or are they going to fix the benches, or are they going to
Yeah,
put
I
up?
don't know. Is
I
there
forget what
actually
it's called, but there is some kind of a group.
it's not the rec commission itself, is it?
It might be part of the rec department.
Okay.
But there is a group that kind of helps to maintain Academy Green, and I know members of the Garden Club are involved with that.
Okay.
And I can find out more about that too.
Okay. All right, good. The tree planting program, just an update. First, thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Tebby, for coming out on our last brochure distribution attempts. And actually, they were quite successful, particularly the one over in the Roosevelt Park area. We've received some great feedback, and we've gotten quite a few new applications that have come through because of those, just walking around and putting them out on people's doorsteps. So that's that. I want to thank you for that. And in order for us to do a spring planting, I know Kyla worked a lot with George on the bid spec, as well as someone from the state to get that together. In terms of getting the bids out for the springtime, we are going to do it a little differently. We're just getting 3 bids. So we're soliciting them separately. We're not doing the full RFP at this point, so that we can do a planting in the spring. And that should be going out probably, if it doesn't go out by the end of this week, next week, I believe is what Kyla is shooting for. And we're going to start to be going through the applications. I don't know, George, if you have anything to add. I know that you and Kyla met the other day, and I looked at I don't know if you looked at them or if you were more focused on the bidding materials itself.
No,
Yeah.
we did both. We looked at every application that was received. And we looked at about 35 that I had identified earlier and that Kyla had identified. And we came up with about 68 possibles at this point.
Good.
So, but that's still, it has to be confirmed with, call before you dig and all that
Right.
kind of stuff, and that, I mean, we did throw out a whole bunch, that just could
Yeah.
not be done, and that, just want to mention the Academy Green talk.
Yeah.
I mean, we did, I don't know if Kyla followed up on it, but I did locate at least that one tree at the corner, of Clinton and, where you were talking about on the corner of Clinton.
Clinton and Maiden.
Clinton and Maiden, yeah, that would be a location that would be available. So, I mean, the one thought is that if you plant a tree there, that actually, no matter where you plant a tree, you might be able to use it as an offset, to your matching, because you have to match the grant with 25%. So,
Okay.
so I would keep that in mind because we're getting some overlap here.
Okay.
We seem to always be getting overlap everywhere. And that, so, yeah, other than that, I'm not sure how you plan on doing the contracting with, a separate, purchase and a separate planting, and that was all.
No, it would be
discussed.
a purchase. It would be one contract. We're just getting 3 separate price quotes versus putting a full RFP out. We've talked to our purchasing agent about it, and that was his recommendation, to go in that direction for the spring planting. And then once we get through the spring planting, for the fall planting, we'll have the time in our agenda to put a full RFP out for the balance of what
Yeah.
we want to complete. So we hope to complete the entire project by the end of this calendar year.
Yeah, and that should make it small enough, because I think one of the problems we had is, can you buy the trees in one place and have someone else plant them? Or do you want to, or buy them and have that person sell the trees and plant them? And that can be tough with 70 trees.
Right,
you know,
right.
So, yeah.
So that is the strategy at this point in time. So we're going to move forward with that.
Okay, well, I sent Kyla a bunch of different options from some wholesale nurseries, and then who they work with and whatnot, and then you have your own nursery, so we'll see what happens.
Right.
And that, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so that takes care of that. I don't have any other business. I don't know if anybody else does. If not, oh yes, Tebby?
I just want to mention, the Memorial Tree Fund, has that, we have our grant program. And, we did give out one grant to, someone who took a tree down, and, it probably cost them $2,000, and we gave them 500. And we have another
Hey.
one outstanding, which it's taking, like, they applied last year, and we're sort of holding the grant for them because they're not having it done until August. The arborist they got, the least expensive one, that's how long it
Oh,
took them
wait,
to find
okay, I was
somebody
gonna
to get
ask if it's delayed because
It's
it's not
delayed
delayed
because they
of
were having
them, it's
trouble.
delayed because, yeah,
So we're holding that
is-
over, and our original grant, we're going to change it a little bit. We had said it would be for taking trees down or planting, and because the city has this planting program, and it seems like not too many people were applying. We decided we were just going to use ours for people who are required to take a tree down. We would
And
give them
I
money for
think
that.
I think that makes sense because, unfortunately, when it comes to a situation and you have a tree and it has to get taken down, you don't have a choice.
Right.
And it is costly. Whereas if you want to plant, you do have the choice, I can hold off or I can save up for it. But taking down a tree, you don't have that luxury of waiting.
So anyway, we're going to change the grant and we'll make sure you get a copy of that for the future. So
Good.
when we do ask someone, it's going to be money for taking the tree down.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, Tebby, I have a point to make. You had mentioned getting using a European beach.
Oh yeah, Copper Beach. That was one of the choices. And I can't remember what, we had a bunch of trees and that was just one. So is that not a good choice?
Well, the only thing I to say is that I've read that it is believed that beach leaf disease that's spreading throughout Westchester going north fast affects all beaches. So you ought to just keep track of what's going on with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that, George. Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
I got a quick question.
Yes, Vince.
YWCA, we did mark the tree planting maybe 3-4 years ago there on the corner of, I'm not sure of that street.
Maiden and Clinton.
Was it Maiden and Clinton?
Yep, it was
Yeah.
on the Maiden Avenue side of the Y.
Right. And that's the tree you were talking about earlier that's thriving. It's doing well.
Yeah, that's doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I see that. And I thought they had the kids at that point participate in the tree planting.
They
I
did.
remember.
Yep, they
And-
participated and they sang songs. And then if you remember that year, we were able to get seedlings for the
Yes.
students, and
Yes.
they had actually in a class project planted them all in little containers.
Mhm.
And that they were they had outside, so they were kind of tending to them there, and then they could either take them home or do what,
Yep.
bring them to somebody. So it was nice.
So the approach that we're taking today is a potential to do another tree planting there or at
No, we would do a tree planting in the Academy Green Park.
in the Academy Green
across the
Park?
street.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're across the street, so it would be,
Okay.
It would be a nice kind of tie with them and
Sure. Yep.
if we could we could do both. We could invite the seniors over, I think it would be nice.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice.
If it's a nice day, get them outside,
Mhm. And so where that one maple came down, George suggested that there's room to plant another tree close to that location.
No, he was suggesting on the corner there, right across from the Y, there was a pine tree that had gotten taken down.
Okay,
So
not
it's
where
right
that maple
there.
is. Right.
But
Okay.
there's room in the park. There's a couple other locations, I'm sure. And obviously I would, the group will have their input and see what they have another idea that would be, I'd be open to that as well.
And then let me ask you another question.
Okay.
The what do you call that? The Memorial Tree Fund. They were potentially going to look at seeing if they could do a donation in Academy Green,
Yes.
and that 500 that would cover some size tree. Would
Correct.
could that be used split to do the planting as well? Like, let's say we went to Herzog's and had them plant not only buy the tree but plant the tree. That would obviate the need for, unless the DPW can do it.
I'd rather put the money into the tree because I'm pretty confident that we can get the tree in the ground with either DPW or our volunteer.
Okay.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay. I just wanted to throw that out, but
Yep.
because they'd need probably it'd be a 3 or 4 caliber size tree at that price, and you probably need a backhoe to dig for the root ball. Is my guess.
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
I'll figure. I'll work on that. Don't worry.
I was just down at Herzog's. I didn't look though to see
Do
what
they
their
have
tree
trees
price.
in there? I haven't, last time I looked, they didn't have anything. So they're getting stock in now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, so if there is nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, George?
I was looking at St. Mary's Cemetery with Kyla and the area around there.
Right,
Know how that might work? I mean, there seem to be a lot of potential spaces there, both within the cemetery, just at the edge of it, and just outside of the cemetery, along Flatbush and Flattery, I believe it is. And
Foxhall and Flatbush.
right.
Yeah.
But
The
I thought they were
only-
doing, there's a project that they're doing.
there's a road project there on both Foxhall and Flatbush that's slated for 2024. So that will involve sidewalk, road reconstruction, sidewalks, trees, bike paths, all of that. So I would stay away from that right now.
We have problems finding places. How about Farrelly? There was like 4 or 5 spaces along Farrelly, which was pretty decent because it's a nice western exposure and it's very open.
That might work. That might be a good idea.
Gosh, at least something.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. So I'm back to my motion for somebody motion to adjourn. I need a motion.
I motion to
Okay, from
adjourn.
Vince. Can I have a second from Tebby? Okay, all in favor of adjourning? Okay, very good. We are adjourned at 4:13. Okay, so check your emails tomorrow, and Tebby, if I can answer or help with anything, if they have questions, I should be in the office pretty much all day tomorrow. All right? Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
You as well. Take care.
Bye-bye.